Sigmund Freud, widely recognized as the father of psychoanalysis, stands as one of the most influential and controversial figures in modern intellectual history. His life journey, from humble beginnings in Moravia to his eventual exile in London, and his enduring impact on psychology, literature, and cultural studies reflects his extraordinary intellect, resilience, and determination. This biography offers a detailed chronological account of Freud's life, exploring his early years, academic pursuits, personal relationships, the development of his groundbreaking theories, the growth of the psychoanalytic movement, and the challenges he faced in later life. By examining the interplay between his personal experiences and scholarly work, this narrative reveals how Freud's ideas continue to shape and influence a wide range of disciplines. Born on May 6, 1856 in Freiburg, Moravia, now Pribor in the Czech Republic, Sigmund Freud entered the world as Sigismund Shlomo Freud into a family marked by economic uncertainty and complex relationships. His father, Jakob Freud, a wool merchant, had been married twice before, while his mother, Amalia Nathanson Freud, much younger than Jakob, provided a deeply affectionate and stabilizing presence. The family's financial situation was fragile. The economic downturn following the Panic of 1857 forced them to move frequently during Freud's early years. When Freud was just 3, the family moved first to Leipzig and then, in 1860, settled in Vienna, Austria, a city that would profoundly shape his intellectual and cultural development. Vienna, a vibrant hub of art, science, and philosophy, exposed young Freud to a world that valued learning and cultural sophistication, even as anti-Semitism cast a shadow over Jewish families. Although Emperor Franz Joseph had officially granted equal rights to Jews, societal prejudice remained a reality that influenced Freud's later explorations of repression and identity. At 17, Freud began a rigorous academic journey by enrolling at the University of Vienna in 1873. Though he briefly considered law, the allure of medicine soon won out. His studies were broad, covering anatomy, physiology, chemistry, botany, zoology, and physics, reflecting the interdisciplinary spirit of an era rich in scientific curiosity and innovation. During his university years, Freud was deeply influenced by the materialist and positivist scientific currents of the time. Charles Darwin's evolutionary theories, in particular, shaped his view of the natural world as a dynamic, interconnected system, a perspective that would later inform his understanding of human behavior and mental processes. Freud's early research took shape under Ernst Wilhelm von Brücke, a leading physiologist. Between 1876 and 1879, Freud worked in Brücke's lab, studying the nervous system's histology and the anatomy of vertebrates and invertebrates. His investigations into nerve cells, the spinal cord, and even the reproductive organs of fish and eels demonstrated his commitment to empirical research. Although his neurophysiological work was significant, financial pressures and clinical demands eventually steered him toward medicine rather than pure research. After a brief pause for compulsory military service in 1879, Freud earned his medical degree in 1881. His early medical career blended research and clinical practice. In 1882, he became a clinical assistant at Vienna's General Hospital, where he explored neurology, psychiatry, and internal medicine. During this time, he developed innovative methods such as a staining technique for nerve fibers, contributing to the understanding of neural structures. The excitement of clinical work and his exposure to neurological studies of mental disorders gradually shifted Freud's focus. In 1885, he took a lectureship on nervous diseases at the University of Vienna, a role that recognized his scientific contributions and paved the way for international engagement. A fellowship allowed him to study in Paris under Jean-Martin Charcot at the Salpêtrière Hospital. Charcot's pioneering work on hysteria and hypnosis deeply influenced Freud, revealing how psychological factors could produce physical symptoms. This experience planted the early seeds of psychoanalysis. By 1886, Freud had gained enough experience to open a private practice focused on nervous disorders. This marked his transition from neurologist to visionary psychiatrist, dedicated to exploring the human mind. That same year, he married Martha Bernays, beginning a partnership that would provide emotional support and stability through the challenges of his career. Freud's personal and professional lives were closely intertwined. His 1886 marriage to Martha Bernays united two families and cultural backgrounds. Martha, from a distinguished Jewish family in Hamburg, offered Freud a stable and supportive home amid his demanding work. Together, they had 6 children, including Anna Freud, who would become a key figure in advancing psychoanalytic thought. The Freud household was complex. Freud's relationship with Martha was marked by deep, if sometimes understated, affection. His letters reveal a blend of tenderness and intellectual engagement. Their family life, rooted in traditional values and emotional intensity, reflected themes that later appeared in Freud's theories on family dynamics and childhood development. Beyond family, Freud built a network of close friendships and intellectual partnerships that shaped his work. One influential relationship was with Wilhelm Fliess, a Berlin physician with whom Freud exchanged extensive correspondence for nearly 20 years. Fliess's unconventional ideas about sexuality and periodicity sparked debates that influenced Freud's evolving theories. Though their later correspondence became strained, Fliess's early impact on Freud's thinking was significant. Another pivotal figure was Joseph Breuer, a fellow clinician whose work on hysteria profoundly affected Freud's career. Their collaboration, especially on the famous case of Anna O. Bertha Pappenheim, laid the groundwork for the talking cure. Encouraging patients to verbalize repressed memories and emotions revealed new ways to treat mental illness. Anna O's case highlighted the therapeutic power of bringing unconscious material to light, setting the stage for psychoanalysis. Freud's relationships with disciples and contemporaries were not without conflict. As his ideas developed, disagreements over the nature of psychological disorders and the roles of sexuality, repression, and personal history led to debates and schisms. Yet these exchanges, both cooperative and contentious, helped refine and spread his theories. Between 1886 and 1900, Freud underwent a profound shift in his clinical approach. Initially trained as a neurologist focused on biological causes of disease, he increasingly saw that many nervous symptoms could not be explained by physiology alone. His exposure to Charcot's work and his own clinical experience led him to explore psychological origins of disorders like hysteria, which showed physical symptoms without organic causes. Freud and Breuer's joint publication, Studies on Hysteria, recounted cases like Anna O. and laid the foundation for psychoanalytic therapy. Though their partnership later ended over disagreements about the role of sexuality, this work formally introduced a therapeutic framework that revolutionized mental health treatment. In short, this period marked Freud's decisive move from neurology to psychological exploration. His clinical innovations and theories on repression set the stage for psychoanalysis as both a practice and a theory. The early 20th century saw Freud's ideas coalesce into a powerful and influential body of work. His major theories challenged traditional views of human nature and laid the foundation for modern psychology. The interpretation of dreams, published in 1900, was Freud's first systematic study of the unconscious. He distinguished between the manifest content, the literal storyline of a dream, and the latent content, the hidden desires and conflicts beneath. Dreams, he argued, reveal repressed wishes and offer a direct path to understanding unconscious drives. This radically changed perceptions of mental illness. Freud's structural model of the psyche followed, dividing the mind into the ID, ego, and superego. This framework explained personality as a balance of conflicting forces and remains central to psychoanalytic theory. Closely tied to this was the controversial Oedipus complex. Freud suggested that during the phallic stage, children unconsciously desire the opposite-sex parent and feel rivalry toward the same-sex parent. Though debated and reinterpreted, these ideas remain key to classical psychoanalysis. Freud also outlined psychosexual stages: oral, anal, phallic, latency, and genital, each focused on different erogenous zones. He argued that unresolved conflicts at any stage could cause fixations and neurotic behaviors in adulthood. Emphasizing the lasting impact of early childhood, he identified defense mechanisms, unconscious strategies like repression, projection, displacement, and sublimation, that the ego uses to manage anxiety from conflicting desires. These concepts deepened understanding of behavior and informed clinical practice. Freud's intellectual productivity culminated in Beyond the Pleasure Principle, where he introduced the death drive, a counterforce to life instincts. He proposed an unconscious drive towards self-destruction and a return to an inorganic state, adding a profound somber dimension to human motivation. Clinical case studies, such as those of Little Hans and the Rat Man, provided empirical support for his theories, showing how repressed conflicts manifest in neurotic symptoms. These detailed accounts bolstered psychoanalysis's scientific credibility and therapeutic promise. Freud's work during these years became foundational to modern psychology, inspiring ongoing debate and shaping intellectual thought across disciplines. Freud's ideas quickly moved beyond his private practice and writings, sparking a vibrant psychoanalytic movement. This movement grew through formal organizations, a dedicated circle of followers, and theoretical splits that diversified the field. It all began back in 1902 with informal meetings at Freud's Vienna home, known as the Wednesday Psychological Society. These gatherings allowed for open discussion and refinement of psychoanalytic ideas in a really intimate setting. By 1908, the group formalized as the Vienna Psychoanalytic Society with strict membership rules and a commitment to studying Freud's theories. This institutionalization gave psychoanalysis a platform to spread and gain legitimacy as a scientific discipline. The early years were marked by both collaboration and tension. Freud's leadership attracted many scholars, but differences in theory soon emerged. The most famous split was with Carl Jung, once Freud's intellectual heir. Jung rejected Freud's focus on sexuality, developing ideas like the collective unconscious and archetypes, and left the group in 1913 to found analytical psychology. Alfred Adler also broke away in 1911, criticizing Freud's emphasis on psychosexual factors and emphasizing social influences and feelings of inferiority in personality development. These schisms, though difficult, enriched psychology by creating diverse schools of thought. As psychoanalysis spread internationally, organizations formed across Europe and North America. Freud's 1909 lectures at Clark University introduced his ideas to the United States, leading to psychoanalytic societies and training centers worldwide. By mid-century, psychoanalysis influenced literature, art, and political theory globally. Despite disagreements, the movement's core legacy is its commitment to exploring the unconscious mind. Freud's techniques and concepts remain vital tools in clinical and academic settings, underscoring psychoanalysis's lasting impact. The years after 1920 brought both continued intellectual vigor and serious personal challenges for Freud. He refined his theories while battling oral cancer, the rise of totalitarianism, and the upheavals of war. Despite declining health, Freud remained dedicated to expanding psychoanalytic theory. In The Ego and the Id in 1923, he detailed the interactions of the ID, ego, and superego, offering a comprehensive view of inner conflict, civilization, and its discontents. In 1930, examined tensions between individual instincts and societal demands, portraying culture as a struggle between freedom and constraint. In 1923, Freud was diagnosed with cancer of the palate, likely linked to his heavy cigar smoking. Over the years, he endured more than 30 surgeries and intense pain, but continued writing, lecturing, and corresponding. His resilience amid suffering demonstrated his personal strength and commitment to knowledge. Political turmoil worsened his situation. The rise of Hitler and Nazism in the 1930s threatened Jews and intellectuals. As a prominent Jewish figure in Vienna, Freud became a target. After the 1938 Anschluss, his home and work were endangered. With help from friends like Princess Marie Bonaparte, Freud secured visas and fled Vienna. In June 1938, Freud and his family settled in London, where he spent his final year in relative safety but frailty. He remained engaged with the psychoanalytic community and reflected on human suffering's cultural and psychological aspects. Yet cancer and years of hardship left him increasingly weak. Aware of his mortality, Freud arranged with his physician Max Schur for a dignified death. When pain became unbearable in September 1939, he consented to a morphine overdose. On September 23, 1939, at 83, Freud passed peacefully in London, leaving behind a life as tumultuous and transformative as his ideas. Freud's death marked the end of an era and a moment of deep reflection for intellectuals worldwide. His passing inspired grief and admiration from supporters and critics alike. Many recognized that Freud had fundamentally changed how humanity understands the mind and itself. After his death, the psychoanalytic community rallied around his enduring theories. His daughter Anna Freud played a crucial role in preserving and expanding his legacy, especially in child psychology and developmental disorders. Intellectuals in literature and philosophy praised Freud for revealing hidden dimensions of human motivation, desire, and conflict. Over the decades, Freud's concepts have permeated many fields beyond psychology. Terms like Freudian slip, repression, and unconscious have entered everyday language, reflecting his cultural impact. His theories paved the way for nuanced views of mental illness and inspired movements in literature, art, and political thought. Though debated and revised, psychoanalysis's core ideas that unconscious forces shape behavior and early experiences matter remain foundational in mental health. Freud's legacy is complex. Critics point to a lack of empirical rigor in some theories, especially psychosexual stages and the Oedipus complex. Yet, despite advances in neuroscience and psychology, many of his insights endure. Underpinning talk therapy and popular understandings of human nature, his work has sparked critical debates that continue to enrich scholarship, with feminist, cultural, and philosophical critiques transforming and challenging his ideas. Today, Freud symbolizes the quest to understand the mysterious inner workings of the mind. His life, marked by personal struggle, scientific innovation, and cultural upheaval, continues to fascinate scholars, clinicians, and the public. The institutions he founded, the Vienna Psychoanalytic Society, the International Psychoanalytical Association, and numerous training programs stand as lasting monuments to his transformative influence. Sigmund Freud's story is one of pioneering insight, passionate innovation, and personal resilience. From his early years in Moravia, shaped by family challenges and diverse cultural influences, to his rigorous education in Vienna and his groundbreaking shift from neurology to the unconscious, Freud's journey embodies a relentless quest for understanding. His rich personal life, complex relationships, and clinical experiences provided both grounding and inspiration. Within this matrix, Freud developed revolutionary ideas that created a new paradigm for understanding humanity. Between 1886 and 1920, Freud built psychoanalysis with landmark works like The Interpretation of Dreams, his models of the unconscious, and theories of psychosexual development and defense mechanisms. Despite fierce debates and splits with Jung and Adler, his ideas sparked a vibrant international psychoanalytic movement. Later life brought suffering and upheaval. Battling cancer and fleeing Nazism, Freud's exile to London underscored the perilous intersection of intellectual pursuit and political repression. His death in 1939, a dignified release from pain, highlighted the lasting impact of his work. Freud reshaped modern thought, challenging ideas of rationality, morality, and selfhood, opening new paths to explore the mind's depths. Freud's legacy remains provocative and enduring. His theories continue to inspire research, dialogue, and therapy worldwide. While science debates his contributions, Freud's work irrevocably changed our understanding of what it means to be human. His life and ideas stand as a testament to the power of inquiry, intellectual revolution, and the struggle to reconcile conscious and unconscious. Through his pioneering mind exploration, Freud laid psychoanalysis's foundations and left a rich legacy that still informs and challenges our view of humanity. His biography traces a journey from modest origins to profound achievement, a journey that transformed mental health treatment and reshaped cultural and academic discourse globally. As we continue to explore human behavior and the unconscious's mysteries, Freud's work endures in every quest to understand mind and spirit. His complex, contested legacy remains central to the ongoing effort to grasp the human experience in all its emotional, desire-driven, and conflicted dimensions.